Welcome to the Harvesting Wisdom podcast. Together we explore the vast landscapes of life, delving into the rich soil of experiences, sowing the seeds of curiosity, and harvesting the profound wisdom that each episode unfolds. Hello, and welcome to another podcast with Harvesting Wisdom. I'm your host, Mike McMahon. Today I have with me Omar Dairov. And Omar is from Kyrgyzstan. That's where we are today. And we're at our hotel. Omar has had experience working with students in one group as a youth leader. And now he's an executive director for the Green Alliance. So we'll have him tell us a little about that. But Omar, thanks for being on the show. Thank you for coming out of your way to talk today.
Thank you very much, Mike, for inviting. And this is a great honor for me, a great pleasure for all. So, my name is Omar, and I'm from, we do not like when we say, when someone say Kyrgyzstan, we would like to hear about the Kyrgyz Republic, yeah, because a lot of foreigners, a lot of tourists can make a mistake and think about Kyrgyzstan, in Turkey. That's why, that's why we are an independent country. We are not Kyrgyzstan. We are Kyrgyz Republic. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
So, our country is, mountainous, and 94% of our country is mountains, and we do not have ways to the ocean, to the seas, and unfortunately, we're landlocked country. Yeah, and historically, we're nomads, and we're grown up in a nomadic culture, and I guess, like Indians, like Apache, we know about nature more than Europe or America's citizens, because we have grown up in nature from our childhood and in deep connection with nature. So, how can we begin our story?
I want to know about your personal story first. What part of Kyrgyz Republic did you grow up in? Were you in a city, or were you in a farm? Was your family farming, or I don't know how many generations back were there nomads, but that might have gone back 100 years. I don't know. But tell me a little of that, and then what brought you to go to school, and where did you go to school, and what did you study, and why are you working on behalf of the environment and the people of your country? Why are you doing what you're doing? So tell me all about that.
As a mostly of my generation, I've grown up in village. In Kyrgyzstan, more than 60% of people live in villages in their childhood, because a lot of our parents, Kyrgyzstan is a developing country, and the mostly parents of our children work in migration abroad, and that's why I was this child whose parents work abroad, and that's why I've grown up with my grandmother in mountainous village, and the journey into the climate and environment, I guess, began from my childhood, where I has really opportunity to get more connection and deep connection with nature, where I every day see rivers, mountains, forests, animals, wild animals, and sometimes in my childhood, go to the we say koshar in Kurdish. I guess it's livestock, and we're fighting with wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they we have a really big issue with wolves because they eating our ships.
And they get hunted with these big golden eagles, right?
Yes, yes,
With hunters that, and but it's a balance.
yes,
It's a balance of nature,
yeah,
part of nature as well.
absolutely. And we are fighting with wolves, make some sounds, make some noisy to get them. How to say?
And these are big wolves,
I,
right? Aren't most of the wolves pretty good size?
In my childhood, it was a big, but I don't know what about now. Yeah. So, and my grandmother taught me to be in harmony with nature. Don't throw some garbage into the water, into the river. And the previous generations in the mountains says that you cannot take water and wash your hands in the river. You can just take this water out of the river and wash there.
So you don't contaminate.
Yes, and this habits makes a really contribution in environmental culture. How we say now, in ecological cultural and the life overview there. Yeah. So yeah, and our family, my grandmother had about 8 sheep, 2 cows, and a garden, and where we implement really, as I understand now, a really organic farming. And that's why organic farming is the field of my interest as well. So then, after amount of years, I migrate to the city, to the Bishkek city, and my first 6 years was in village, and then I've grown up into the Bishkek city. When I came to the city, I was shocked with this consumerism, with this how to say, the antonym of harmony, house.
Industrialization.
Industrialization and house in the some people connection in people relations.
Right.
Yeah,
Culturally.
yeah. And I was very shocked, and I cannot adapt on that. But after years, I understand that I need to adapt to make my life better. But at the same time, always I this fundamental base, cultural base, habits base, which gives
Where you're from.
yes, which was given from my grandmother, I used every day till now. Yeah.
Got it. So, a couple of questions off of that. Number one, this is fairly typical in lots of parts of the world, by the way, but I know some people up in Kazakhstan the same way, raised by their grandparents because their parents have to work. They have to go. What country did your parents end up working? They were in and out of Kyrgyzstan?
Oh, my mother worked in Italy. Yes, my father worked abroad in Kazakhstan. Yeah.
Okay, so not too far away.
Yeah, not too far away.
So you would see them once in a while. And how many, did you have a lot of brothers and sisters or any of them?
Oh, it's a very interesting story. Yeah, but I have 7 brothers and sisters.
So your parents got together once in a while from Italy and Kazakhstan.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So, and in the big family, big family taught you to make really taught you and give you diplomatic skills. And I have to be a diplomat from my childhood. Yeah.
Okay.
So
And so your grandparents kind of were the ones who were raising you on a day-to-day and raising you in some tradition, right? So
Right.
now you're too young to have been around during the Soviet reign here. and your parents might be even a little young for some of that. But was that really affected so much in the mountains? Because I don't think there was as much collective farming that went up in the mountains as it was maybe in the plateaus and the steppe and the grasslands down below, right, where they could do more industrial farming.
So, could you repeat your question?
Oh, sorry. I always do that. Too many questions all at once.
Yeah.
So the when the Soviets were here, and you weren't born at that time, but the mountains were more remote. So was the Soviet influence strong in the mountains, or it was mostly down in the lower pasture lands?
Okay, I got it. So when Soviet Union collapsed, everyone after in Soviet Union countries were very shocked, and really they didn't know what can they do without Soviet Union and Soviet power. But in the mountains, the Soviet power implement really great infrastructural projects. Because of the Soviets were built Toktogul Hydropower Station, Hydropower Station, one of the biggest in the Kyrgyzstan, which provide us electricity for now. And in the Soviet Union, agricultural technologies were implemented with a really great, really great power. And you can see when you tomorrow go to the Issyk, you can see really Soviet livestock pastures, Soviet buildings, full provide food, eat to them. Also in Kyrgyz we say chaban. It's kind of cowboys, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Soviet Union has a paid taxes for the cowboys, and make a really social makes really social economy policy for them in mountains regions especially. Yeah, but after collapse of the Soviet Union, they were really transforming whole system, because in Soviet Union, the Kyrgyz Soviet Republic makes about, I don't know how exactly. For example, makes 1 million tons of sheep, of the meat of sheep or cow, little steaks, yeah,
Yield.
yield, yeah, and export exporting this meat and yield to the Moscow. Then Moscow share this meat for each
Other country in the
Soviet Union, and Kazakhstan makes something else. Uzbekistan makes something else, and this was a really system which interconnected with each other.
So quite a shock when it stopped, right? I mean,
Yes.
it's quite a shock. And there's no, it's the interesting thing is there's a lot of different forms of government, and but people are people.
Yeah.
The earth is the earth. We all share that. And I would say there's probably the good and the bad that come with any form of government or anything we had. But you're saying there were definite benefits. The infrastructure was improved. Systems were put in place. People were brought into more the first world, and probably more education and that sort of thing. So those were all positive things. Ultimately, with the collapse, you have problems. And part of it, the Soviets were not alone in the 60s when we had what they call a green revolution by Borlong was the Nobel Prize winner, where we started to grow monoculture crops with lots of water and lots of chemicals, fertilizers, and really nobody at the time understood completely all of the dangers. Well, some of the early environmentalists were like, hey, wait, this isn't going to work. But for the most part, we saw that the world was able to feed itself, so people were able to eat. And with that, a huge influx of population, right? We grew. So it's not as simple as, oh, these guys are good or these guys are bad, or oh, this is good or bad. It's just the way it was, right? It was an evolution. But now, post-Soviet, it's been a good 30 years or so, and now the government is its own independent country, still part of a region. And the interesting thing about this region is it's the furthest landmass away from oceans. This is literally land. This is the center of the land in the world, on the planet, right?
And at the same time, we circled by the deserts, Karakorum, and China's deserts, Mongolian, Taklamakan deserts, blah, blah, so on, so
And the
on.
biggest mountain ranges on the planet.
Yeah.
Biggest mountains are here. So
Yeah.
it's got a lot of, you got the steppes and the grasslands, and some of them are grass and some of them are deserts. And I was just talking with a previous guest about the nomads. Back in the day of the nomad, things were in balance.
Yeah.
Because the nomads understood that knowledge, that wisdom. They would move animals from place to place, but the carrying capacity was within balance.
Yeah.
When you go commercial and you have a bigger and bigger population to feed, you start getting out of balance. And then, Kyrgyzstan also is primarily coal fired for power. That's what most of the energy is.
Hydro energy.
Hydro.
Yes.
But what is the hydro? The hydro plants are run on coal as well.
Yes, hydropower plants, power station, the mostly root of our energy. More than 80% of the electricity in Kyrgyzstan were created by the hydropower station. And we are one of the greenest country in the world.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's good. A low footprint, carbon footprint.
Yes.
Okay.
A low carbon.
And interesting in the region, from what I've seen, is there's more biodiversity here, and you probably have a little more insulation, I guess would be the word, from climate change, because you can go up.
Yeah.
And when you go up, it's cool,
Yes.
right? And you still have a lot of snow cap. There's still water available. So compared to other countries right in this region that are flat, don't have quite as much access to water, and the temperature is going to affect things a lot more.
Yeah, about the biodiversity, yeah, step by step. The Kyrgyz Republic, has their territory as 0.0013% from the whole world.
Okay.
Yeah, our territory is
One of the lowest.
one of the lowest, yeah, but not one of them, but the lowest.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we have 2% of biodiversity of the world. Just imagine. 2% of the biodiversity of the world we have in our.
So the snow there was, yeah.
Yeah, because Kyrgyz Republic, it's kind of hub for snow leopard from Mongolia to the Himalayas. And we are hub for birds, for wild animals, and from China, from Russia, from a different place, from India as well, yeah, and from Gulf as well.
Because and I could look this up, but I didn't, but the hydroelectric plant, do you feed energy needs to any other countries, or is it strictly for?
For now, we have energy scarcity, energy crisis, because the whole generations and stations were built in Soviet Union. After collapse, we do not have opportunity to build ourselves the power stations. But 2 years ago, the president of the Kyrgyz Republic starts a big campaign to build a small hydropower station in the rural areas, and there is a plan to build up to 200 and 300, from 200 to 300 small hydropower stations in the rural areas. And the official policy tell us about the small hydropower station you can use for yourselves, for your needs. But the biggest one, like Kambarata, like Toktogu, you can use for we can use for export our
Okay. So
to the Kazakhstan, to the Tajikistan, and
because
Afghanistan.
those other countries don't have the same natural resources.
Yeah.
They don't have the rivers and the mountains to create that. So that becomes a good export, energy export, and then profitable for the country and good for the region.
Yeah, but at the same time, this poses a very interesting policy question about transboundary rivers. My master thesis, my master topic was in the economical mechanisms in the integrated water resource management in the Sirdarya River Basin. And this policy, which make a really big campaign on building small hydropower stations. We can block the water and make electricity, but at the same time, this water can might be not
Cause
enough.
problems for fish.
No, not fish. Might be not enough for Uzbekistan because we blocked at the top.
Oh.
That's why this is very
The beginning of a water war.
yes. So we'll talk about the water also, a bit later, I guess.
So this is good. We set up the framework, a better idea for people who are not from here that are familiar so much of what it's all about. I got a general idea of your upbringing, but you went to the university in Bishkek, or
my bachelor was in Bishkek, in Kyrgyz Russian Slavic University, and my master degree was in Almaty, in Kazakh German University.
Okay.
It's one of the famous university in the Central Asia, which specialized on the water resource management, which prepare really great masters on water resource management.
And so you were an environmental science major or a hydro?
Yes, environmental science major were my faculty. But in a bachelor degree, I was research on green economy.
Okay. So you finished that. Let's talk about, you got your first big job was with the students. So explain to me that organization and how did it get started, and is it still doing well? And what did you do while you were there?
As I mentioned, in university, I researched in bachelor degree. When I was a bachelor, I researched green economy, and I was very shocked with this trend because it was in 2017, and I have an existential question: who am I?
We all have that question.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Let me know.
Yeah. So, and what do I want to do? I want to make money.
Of course.
I want no.
Well, you need to make money for yourself or your family, or
Yeah, sure.
because that's part of sustainability, right?
No, I
But
guess
you needed something else, is what you're saying.
yes. So I had the chance to make money to go to some logistic company, and etc. etc. But my father told me about them. Hey, you are a man, and you have to make a really great heritage, non-material heritage, and to be a real man in our East overview, because the money and big houses, really great cars, it's not really it's not a representative heritage for men in our culture. Yeah, and she said, my dad said to me, "Come on, let's think about your life and the life your family, the society, should live.
Your mission and your purpose.
Yes, your mission and your purpose, and make really great, really great contribution. Then I transform my overview to get to the climate action, to the green economy. At the same time, in 2017, I familiar with green economy developing program for green economy developing in Kyrgyz Republic. And I was very surprised with these trends in sustainable development, in urban design, in green architecture, in green transport, and so on, so on. Yeah, I was very surprised. This kind of, it was kind of a fresh air for my young mind. Yeah, and then I decide to make a little contribution from myself to achieve these goals. Yeah, and then I understand that I can open company with my with my colleagues, with my group mates, to develop the young leadership in green economy and environmental culture in Kyrgyz Republic, and we established there were about 7 group mates. We established NGO, Students of Kyrgyzstan for a Green Economy, to provide people and young people information about sustainable development in the world. So then we start our campaigns to get more information, to provide more information to young people. And this organization was established in 2020. Up to 2024, I worked very hard. No, 2023. I worked very hard, and we have planted more than 200,000 trees, seeds, seedlings in the mountainous areas.
Indigenous trees, endemic.
Yes, indigenous is Tanshan, I would say in English, I don't know. Yeah, indigenous trees, which adapted in our mountains.
Foundation or natural or natives to the environment.
Yes,
That is so important.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. So, and we mobilize more than 8,000 young people, and I built a really great network between the regions of Kyrgyz Republic. Yeah, and then I've burned out. That I've burned out, to be honest, because the most of the goals which I want to achieve are impossible to achieve. Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunate one. Yeah, and this was a kind of young maximalistic overview of the world. Yeah, we can do it. We can make it better. We can achieve really large scale goals. And
But as a person, you can only do your part.
yes. But at the same time, I'm really inspired with the stories which young people were in our community, that most of them chose a green way to grow. Yeah, they always research about green architecture, and I know really great entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, who has a small, not small, but very good businesses in ecological region and touristic regions, and they implement green principles in their business. It's kind of filters for waters, for stock waters, and the cleaning air system, and etc. etc. And I was very inspired with that.
Cool.
Yeah, they implement very interesting waste management mechanisms into their businesses.
Now, did you work with universities or with other, or with
With university, with National Academy Science, with National Science Academy, with schools and with local leaders and communities in the mountains. Yeah.
See, that's a pretty big endeavor.
Yeah, we have built a really great small carpet or pocket park by ourselves. I will show you the video later. Yeah, and it was very inspiring.
Is the organization still exist without you, or did you?
Yes, now my colleague, the head of this organization, and she she continue she continue our work which we start
Well, that's good.
for. Yeah, and yeah, that's very nice.
But now you've moved into a new organization. So tell me, and wait a second, how did you get funding to do all of that? Because that's a big endeavor.
Yes, but at the same time, I guess the people in that period of time, needed such energy, such contribution, such creative approach in sustainable development ways. Yeah, and when we create or make some ideas and realize and go to the our governments and to the international organizations and say, "Come on, let's do it together. Let's make it greener together." And they make a support. Thanks for international organizations and our government.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, that's the big part. You know, you spend time trying to work your mission, but at the same time, you got to pull back
Yeah.
and get funding. It feels like you're sometimes when you're running an NGO that you're begging and you're having to convince people, you know, but it sounds like you got a lot of people to collaborate and that were able to do what you did. So you decided that's in good hands and you left. And now let's talk about the Green.
Green Alliance. Yes, Green Alliance is really. I was very surprised. Yeah. It was in March. Yeah, this year. In March, I applied for a position for the director of Green Alliance, and to be honest, I didn't think that I will be director at that time, that I will be the director of this organization, but just I tried. Yeah, and then after 2 weeks, the chairman and the colleagues from Green Alliance says, "Hey Omar, we are congratulate you, and you can work. Just tell us about your overview, how we can develop Alliance." And I was very surprised and shocked because Alliance is one of the greatest and biggest organization which joined really different organizations works in green sector. Alliance have more than 50 biggest organizations, 3 banks called which works in energy efficiency, in organic agricultural, in chemicals pollution, in environmental assessment work, etc.
So where is that based and how long has that organization been?
Alliance was established in 2019 and officially, but non-officially, they starts from 2017.
And we're just here in the Kyrgyz Alliance?
In Kyrgyz Republic, yeah.
Okay. But a big organization, fully backed by business,
Yeah.
working with the government, working with local businesses and with universities as well. And
Yeah, one of the really great story about Alliance that Alliance made a really great contribution to the green economy development of the world in the Kyrgyz Republic, because Alliance consists of really very professional experts. And in 2017, when a program for green economy development just discussed, our experts makes a really great recommendation to the green economy development up to 2023. not most of them, but half of this recommendation were taken into account with our government and implemented in our country. And now, for now, we have a really vast, really big amount of national documents on the green development.
So this was policy
Yeah.
at its political level, and your government has adopted in a very short period of time
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
it done.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, and now we have a green economy development program up to the 2030. We have a nationally determined contributions. We have a green taxonomy program, which realized by Ministry of Economy, Ministry of Finance, Customs, and etc., etc. And we have a really great complex approach into the implementing a sustainable development policy in our country. Yeah. As well in organic way too. Yeah. So, and our the priorities of Green Alliance, our priorities are guided by the principle is people-centered sustainability, where the people, this people is the center of every policy decision. Yeah. But at the same time, this is one part of our alliance. The second part of our alliance, not people-centered, nature-centered
Okay.
community, because they say, "Hey, guys, people-centered philosophy or bring us to this house, to this crisis, and let's change our mind to more be nature-centered, not anthropocentric, but nature-centric, etc., etc." And sometimes we are kidding. No, not this. Not now. Yeah. I tell this a bit later.
Okay. So, yeah, that's one of the things that we talk about with urban farming all the time is that environmental problems really are social problems because the environment will do just fine without people. But since we have people, and this is where our issues are created, our environmental issues, global warming, or the drought, or whatever, or just the depletion of resources, we have to take a social approach to change the way we as humans are working, right? So that's why we have the education platform, because it starts in our mind with children. But how much of your time? So you've got the two platforms. You're working with nature, which would be what we call biomimicry. You're trying to see what natural patterns in your biosphere and your ecosystem are working, and you're trying to keep that going, keeping it regenerative, a circular economy, right? And you're also dealing with policy and with people. How much of your time is spent working with politicians and working with policy recommendations? You said, I think there's 50 organizations. So you're coordinating.
More than 50, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot to have on your plate. So
all my time.
yeah. So where do you put your time? How do you decide how to do that?
I don't know. Well, I guess nature gives me energy to realize this work, to work on that, and I don't know. This is my mission, and I guess I cannot think about anything
Besides it,
beside of that.
nothing bigger than that.
No, nothing bigger than that. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, and sometimes grandparents, not grandparents, some
Ancestors,
and old people give me very great energy and inspiration, yeah, and young people as well. Sometimes we're kidding that the sustainable word, and this word understands what the sustainability is.
it's a very general concept.
Yeah, very general concept. And okay, let's not discuss about that, but who understand sustainability. And some of our experts says this word understood only by old people and young people. Why? Because old people planted tree and they understand that I I might not eat the apple or apricot from this tree. And I might die in this year or next year. This tree will not
We call that paying forward.
pay forward. Yeah.
Paying forward.
Yeah. But and young people when see this tree says, "Oh, this my grandparents planted, and I eat this tree. I eat apple from this tree." So sustainability, it's not about sustainability. It's really, as you mentioned, it's a really great concept. But at the same time, it's about old people who will not make benefits from this tree, and about young people who will remember about his
They appreciate something from the past.
from the past. Yes.
So you just said you've implemented a lot of policy.
Yeah.
You're coordinated and brought out a lot of NGOs. Give me some examples of some of your successes, either physically in a particular region or a farm or with a certain group of people, whether it's architects or whether they're engineers or farmers. Give me some ideas of what you've done.
So yeah, it's very easy. First, as I mentioned, Green Alliance makes a really great contribution into the program developing green policy developing in the Kyrgyzstan. Secondly, it's Green Alliance makes a really great contribution to form faculties on green economy in universities. And now, most of universities in Kyrgyzstan has a faculty on green economy developing. And third, there are a lot of young people who choose green
Professions.
professions. Yeah, professions in architecture, in economy, in engineering.
So they have a new lens on
Yeah,
what they're doing.
absolutely.
They're doing it through environmental sustainability
Yeah, absolutely.
and community sustainability.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks to Alliance, every year now officially, Alliance in close cooperation with presidential administrations developed a program which calls Jashil Muras. It's in translation, it's Green Heritage, where whole government bodies has to plant 7 million trees every year. And this is a work of Alliance.
So I like that, but your primary ecosystem here is pasture land. It's grasses. So planting an overstory of trees, which is great, good oxygen, good soil protection in a lot of ways from erosion and from the sun. But are you also looking at planting a lot of the not just grasses and because your steppe here, your pasture land is a little more special than the surrounding countries because you have much more biodiversity in what you're growing, not in your steppes. So very important. But because a lot of that was degraded during the past and currently because of the population demand, are you also looking to restore those grasslands or those pasture lands, I should call them?
Directly, Alliance doesn't work with in the field, but
Right.
but we have a team members of Alliance who has direct influence on that. We have organization great who make a really great job in that field. It's a Kempalato organization, Kyrgyz Association of Forest and Land Users, and they they
Take more of a hands-on approach.
yes, absolutely, and they implement a really great policy on ecosystem approach, on ecosystem management, and pastures management and livestock management as well. Yeah, and if you want, I can share the context.
Absolutely. Share everything and we'll fit it into
Yes.
this. And two questions, but we'll have to be quick because we're getting the hook from the producer. First question I have for you is what's next? What's the next big challenge or the next big goal that you have? And let's start with that one.
Uh, Next big goal is institutionalization. Institutionalization. I guess there is no word.
You're trying to create a structure.
Yes,
I mean, infrastructure, administrative, and technical.
absolutely. In the first step. Secondly, to make a more cooperation in the region of Central Asia and transform our national priorities to the regional priorities.
That was my second question. So you've got that. So that is the goal, is because you're only as good as your neighbors, right? And if your neighbors aren't getting the water, that's going to be a problem. It's not just that. You're sharing the things that worked with the neighbors. So as a region, you're all stronger.
Yeah,
Which just makes you stronger.
yeah, absolutely. And you know, the Central Asia is kind of a close ecosystem. Whole 5 countries is kind of close ecosystem.
It's a long way from other things. Yeah, other people.
And now there are 2 water towers in Central Asia. It's Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan. And only 2 mountainous countries provides water for whole Central Asia for 70 million people.
Right.
And that's why without close cooperation, we cannot we cannot survive up to the...
And we have this paradox around the world. We want everyone to enter into, go from third world living to first world living, in theory, right? But we don't want to lose customs and we don't want to industrialize to the point where that growth is not environmentally sustainable and it's doing more damage. So, but at the same time, we want, better lives for everybody involved. So we have that concept of emerging countries, and at the same time, we've got a concept that to do that, we have to do it the right way, and that's really what the challenge is, and that's really what you're working on. So we're going to have to close it up. We definitely will put your website on here, and I'm sure if there's other people around the world watching, they're interested in getting involved or donating, you have no problem with that, right? So we'll have that, but love to share some more of the things you're working on, and how, if there's anything that we at UFE can be doing to help with that process, we'd love to do it. We're doing ecotourism in Africa because that's primarily where we're doing a lot of our work, but we've been contemplate doing it in Central Asia, in these 5 countries, but also in Mongolia, because I think it's a broadening for young students in college to come to these different parts. And this is kind of an overlooked area for a lot of people in Europe or South America or North America, because it's a distance away, and it doesn't necessarily have the same urban appeal or history, but what it has is it's super rich in environmental, what would we call it, environmental bonus or environmental beauty, right? So this is a big part of it. So anything we can do, we have our platform, we'll share that, and love to be working with you and talking to you more in the future. And thank you for coming today. And for those watching today, Please subscribe. Please like us and follow us. And hopefully this has been great for people both here locally that you can use this and for people around the world.
Thank you very much, Derek, for this, and thank you for this podcast, because I've remembered a lot of things from my childhood till now. Thank you.
Yeah, we could talk for hours and hours and hours, but we got the gist of it out now, and we can always do a Zoom with some of these other players that you're talking about when we're back in the States, and continue the discussion on the sustainable development of Central Asia.
Good luck for your organization and team. Kyrgyz Republic always helped. Renaissance always makes a really great support for you in different ways, and we try to make this world better together.
That's all we can do.
Very much.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you for joining the Harvesting Wisdom podcast. Click subscribe and like for ongoing insightful conversations. Explore our webpage for show notes and additional resources. Visit our guests' webpage for deeper insights. Your engagement is the foundation of our journey, and until next time, keep pursuing wisdom.